The story of Norwegian money begins long before Norway had its own coins. During the Viking Age, which lasted from the late 8th to the mid-11th century, commerce and trade were conducted primarily through a system of barter and weight. Silver was the most important metal. It was used in many forms, including jewelry like arm rings, which could be cut into smaller pieces, known as hack silver, to make exact payments. Vikings also used foreign coins that they acquired through raiding and trading across Europe and beyond. These coins were valued not for their face value, but for the purity and weight of the silver they contained. This created a complex but functional economic system based entirely on precious metal. Among the foreign coins that circulated widely in Viking Age Norway, Anglo-Saxon pennies were particularly common. These silver coins from England were well regarded for their consistent quality and silver content. Vikings brought them back from their expeditions, and they quickly became a trusted medium of exchange. In addition to English coins, German and even Arabic dirhams from the Middle East found their way into Norwegian soil, discovered centuries later in buried hoards. These hoards tell a fascinating story of the Vikings' extensive travel and trade networks, showing how interconnected their world was. The presence of these diverse coins highlights a period when a standardized national currency was still a distant concept for the people of the North. The first steps toward a native Norwegian coinage were taken around the year 995. King Olaf Tryggvason is credited with minting the very first Norwegian coins, known as pennies. These early coins were heavily inspired by the Anglo-Saxon pennies that were already popular in the region. They were made of silver and often featured a portrait of the king on one side and a cross on the other. The purpose of these first coins was not just economic, it was also a powerful political statement. By issuing his own currency, King Olaf was asserting his authority and sovereignty, signaling the emergence of a unified and independent Norwegian kingdom that could stand alongside other European nations. Following Olaf Tryggvason, other rulers continued the practice of minting coins, though it was not always consistent. King Harald Hardroad, who ruled in the mid-11th century, is another significant figure in early Norwegian numismatics. His reign saw a more organized and substantial production of silver pennies. These coins helped to further establish the idea of a royal currency within Norway. However, the use of foreign coins and silver by weight continued for a long time. It took several centuries for minted coins to fully replace the older systems of exchange, marking a slow but steady transition toward a more modern monetary economy that was controlled by the Norwegian crown. Throughout the High Middle Ages, from the 11th to the 14th century, Norwegian coinage became more regular and established. After the initial efforts of Viking kings, subsequent rulers continued to mint coins as a symbol of their power and as a practical tool for governing. The primary mint was located in Nidaros, which is modern-day Trondheim, the capital of Norway at the time. The coins, still predominantly silver pennies, became more standardized in their design and weight. They often bore the image of the reigning monarch and religious symbols, which helped to reinforce the king's divine right to rule. This period saw coinage become an integral part of the Norwegian economy, facilitating trade, both within the kingdom and with neighboring lands. This era of independent coinage began to change as Norway entered into political unions with its neighbors. The most significant of these was the Kalmar Union, established in 1397, which united the kingdoms of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden under a single monarch. While Norway technically remained a separate kingdom, its political and economic power diminished, and this was reflected in its currency. Danish coins started to circulate more widely in Norway, and the local minting activity became less consistent. The currency system of the time included various denominations like the skilling and the mark, which were common across the Scandinavian region, blurring the lines between distinct national currencies. Later, during the Long Union with Denmark, which lasted from 1537 to 1814, Norway's monetary system became even more integrated with the Danish one. The official currency of the dual monarchy was the rigsdaler. While a mint was eventually re-established in Norway, the coins produced often followed Danish standards in terms of weight, value, and design. For much of this period, the coins used in Norway were either minted in Copenhagen or were Norwegian versions that closely mirrored their Danish counterparts. This long union meant that for centuries Norway did not have a truly independent monetary policy, as decisions about currency were largely made in the Danish capital, reflecting Norway's subordinate position in the partnership. The brief union with Sweden, which followed the Napoleonic Wars and lasted from 1814 to 1905, brought another shift. After separating from Denmark, Norway adopted a new currency called the spekidollar. Although Norway had more autonomy in this new union, and was able to establish its own constitution and central bank, its currency was still linked to Sweden's. The spekidollar was the main unit of account, and coins were minted in Norway to serve the local economy. This period represented a step toward monetary independence, but full control over its currency would only come when the union with Sweden was finally dissolved in the early 20th century, setting the stage for a new chapter in Norway's numismatic history. A pivotal moment in the history of Norwegian coinage was the founding of the Royal Norwegian Mint. It was established in the town of Kongsberg in 1686, and the location was no accident. Kongsberg was the site of a major silver discovery in 1623, which led to the creation of the Kongsberg silver mines. King Christian IV of Denmark-Norway decided to establish the mint there to take direct advantage of this rich local source of precious metal. This decision ensured a steady supply of silver for coinage and centralized the production of money for the kingdom. For over 300 years, the mint in Kongsberg was the heart of Norway's currency production, creating the coins that flowed through the nation's economy. The coins produced at the Kongsberg Mint carried specific symbols that identified their origin. One of the most recognizable marks is the crossed hammers, the official symbol of the mint. This mark, representing the tools of the miners, can be found on Norwegian coins minted for centuries, a proud nod to the silver mines that gave the mint its purpose. The establishment of the mint in Kongsberg was not just a practical decision. It was a strategic one. It reduced the kingdom's reliance on mints in Copenhagen and helped to assert a distinct Norwegian identity within the larger Danish-Norwegian Union, even though the currency standards were often shared. The most significant currency reform in modern Norwegian history occurred in 1875 with the introduction of the Krone. This change was part of a larger movement across Scandinavia. Norway, along with Denmark and Sweden, decided to join the Scandinavian Monetary Union and adopt a gold standard. The old spekidollar was replaced by the krone, which means crown, and it was divided into 100 øre. This new system decimalized the currency, making calculations and commerce much simpler. For the first time, Norway had a modern monetary system that was aligned with its major trading partners, facilitating smoother international trade and financial transactions across the region. Under the new system, coins were issued in both silver and gold. The krone itself was defined by a specific weight in gold, and gold coins were minted in denominations of 10 and 20 kroner. These beautiful gold coins circulated as legal tender, representing the stability and value guaranteed by the gold standard. Silver coins were used for smaller values, such as the 1 krone and 50 øre pieces, while bronze coins were used for the smallest øre denominations. This transition to the krone and the adoption of the gold standard marked Norway's full entry into the modern international monetary system and laid the foundation for the currency that the country still uses today. So, the 20th century brought significant changes to the materials used in Norwegian coins. The gold standard, which had defined the krone since 1875, effectively came to an end with the outbreak of World War I in 1914. The Scandinavian Monetary Union was formally dissolved, and countries stopped guaranteeing the conversion of their currency to gold. As a result, the circulation of gold coins ceased. The 10 and 20 kroner gold pieces, once a common sight, were withdrawn, and became items for collectors rather than tools for daily commerce. This marked a major shift away from coinage based on intrinsic metal value toward a fiat currency system, where the value of money is based on government, decree, and public trust. Throughout the 20th century, the composition of coins continued to evolve, largely due to economic pressures and the rising cost of metals. Silver was gradually phased out of circulating coins. During the German occupation in World War II, metals like copper and nickel were needed for the war effort, leading to the minting of coins made from iron and zinc. After the war, copper-nickel, an alloy of copper and nickel, became the standard for higher value coins like the krone, while bronze and eventually copper-plated steel were used for the lower value øre coins. This change reflected a global trend where the metal in a coin was no longer worth its face value, a practical adjustment to modern economic realities. As inflation made smaller denominations less useful over time, the Norwegian mint began to phase them out. The 1 and 2 öre coins were the first to be withdrawn from circulation in 1972, followed by the 5 and 25 öre coins in the subsequent decades. The last öre coin, the 50 öre, was officially withdrawn in 2012. This left the 1 krone coin as the lowest denomination in circulation. Today, the current coin series in Norway consists of the 1 krone, 5 kroner, 10 kroner, and 20 kroner coins. This streamlined set of denominations is designed for modern transactional needs, where electronic payments are increasingly common, and the need for very small change has diminished significantly. The designs of modern Norwegian coins reflect the nation's heritage and identity. The current series, introduced progressively since the 1990s, features distinct themes. The 1 and 5 kroner coins showcase royal and national symbols, such as the Grand Cross of the Order of St. Olav. The 10 kroner coin features a segment of a staved church roof, celebrating Norway's unique medieval architecture. The 20 kroner coin depicts the bow of a Viking ship, honoring the country's seafaring history. These designs, created by different artists, provide a daily connection to Norway's rich cultural and historical legacy, turning everyday pocket change into miniature works of national art. Beyond the coins used for everyday transactions, the Norwegian Mint has a long tradition of issuing special commemorative coins to mark significant national events, honor important figures, and celebrate Norwegian culture. These coins are intended for collectors and are not typically found in general circulation. They are often minted in precious metals like silver and gold and feature intricate, artistic designs. Major events such as the Olympic Games held in Lillehammer in 1994, the centenary of Norway's independence in 2005, and various royal anniversaries have all been immortalized on these beautiful collector's pieces. They serve as historical markers, capturing moments of national pride in a lasting metallic form. These commemorative coins are highly sought after by numismatists both in Norway and around the world. The Mint, which is now officially known as the Mint of Norway, Det Norske Myntverket, after being privatized in 2003, continues this tradition with great care. They release a regular program of special issues, often exploring themes related to Norwegian nature, history, science, and art. These coins are produced in limited quantities, which adds to their appeal and value as collectibles. By creating these special editions, the Mint not only caters to the collector market, but also promotes a deeper appreciation for Norway's heritage, telling stories that might otherwise be forgotten. One interesting question that sometimes arises in discussions about unique coins is whether Norway has ever issued an official diamond coin. The answer to this is clear and simple. No. Norway has never produced an official national coin that incorporates diamonds or any other gemstone as part of its design or composition. While some private mints or companies around the world have created novelty, medals, or rounds embedded with diamonds, these are not legal tender currency issued by a government. The coins produced by the Royal Norwegian Mint and its successors have always been made exclusively of metal, adhering to traditional numismatic standards. The idea of a diamond coin remains firmly in the realm of fantasy or private novelty production. In conclusion, Norway's numismatic journey is a reflection of its national story. From the silver pennies of Viking kings asserting their newfound power to the standardized krone of a modern, independent nation, coins have mirrored the country's political, economic, and cultural evolution. The materials have changed from precious silver and gold to practical base metals, and the designs have evolved to celebrate a rich and diverse heritage. While the myth of a diamond coin is just that, a myth, the real history of Norwegian coinage offers a wealth of fascinating stories. Each coin, whether a Viking penny or a modern commemorative piece, is a small but tangible piece of Norway's millennium-long history.